And it is the intention that, subject to the people and Parliament agreeing to it, that on the 30th of November, Independence Day, and notice I didn't say Republic Day, Independence Day, that there will then be the opportunity for the President of the country to be able to recite that charter as the embodiment of the aspirations of Barbadian people. There is no change to the flag. There is no change to the name of Independence Day. There is no change to the name of Barbados. Barbados is Barbados. We're not the Commonwealth of Barbados. We're not the Republic of Barbados. Barbados is Barbados. We're not trying to take away Mr. Barr's legacy, as some people fear. Far from that. We're trying to complete his legacy. We're trying to finish what he would have wanted to finish if circumstances allowed him in 1966. I have every confidence that the man I knew would have wanted to be able to have a Bajan head of state, but we understood then that we were moving a nation from a deep colonial past into an independent future.
Last August, Barbadian Prime Minister Mottley addressed the nation to, among other things, reassure concerned citizens that despite the upcoming transition to a republic, the island would continue to observe Independence Day on November 30th. On November 1st, 2022, however, Home Affairs Minister Wilfred Abrahams surprised residents with what some have taken to be an about-face with respect to that promise.
Last Thursday, the Cabinet of Barbados took the decision to henceforth observe November 30th as Barbados National Day, commemorating our independence from Britain in 1966 and our transition to parliamentary republic in 2021.
The announcement from Abrahams was met with an outpouring of dissent from Barbadians, many of whom took to social media to air their feelings of betrayal and anger. Some accused the Barbados Labour Party administration of doing exactly what the Prime Minister argued last year was not the case, cynically attempting to dilute or erase the legacy of Errol Barrow, dubbed Barbados's father of independence. Some felt that they had been lied to by the Prime Minister, as Twitter user ECAF Spice indicated, while young Barbadian Dacreed7 wondered if the unpopular decision was meant to draw attention away from something more nefarious. The intense backlash on social media prompted Mottley herself to attempt damage control, saying that the name change would allow the country to celebrate, quote, two significant events in the life and journey of the sovereign state. The fact is, the Prime Minister wrote, our independence from Britain is not being rewritten from our history. While some seemed mollified by her explanation, others took a less charitable view. One Twitter user, who asked to remain anonymous, called the move a, quote, political own goal and ascribed the decision to hubris. Indigo Rex, who changed their username to reflect their opinion of the move, called the decision, quote, utter BS, rebutting Mottley's claim that the name change was so that President Dame Sandra Mason could be properly honored by noting that the president was not elected on November 30th. Others pointed out that public consultation on the decision was lacking, with some noting that even as months of face-to-face talks were occurring, the change was never presented to the public for feedback. A tweet that had received over 450 likes as of Wednesday morning accused the government of not being able to, quote, read the room, that is, correctly gauge public sentiment around the November 30th holiday and what it should be called. The decision to switch from Independence Day to Barbados National Day was for some just the latest example of the autocratic nature of Barbadian governments. Quote, when will the leaders of Barbados understand that Barbadians just want a say in how the country does run, one commenter tweeted. Apart from the general citizenry, other politicians also weighed in. Ronnie Yearwood, president of Barbados's Democratic Labour Party, slammed Prime Minister Mottley for failing to address the promises of last year and urged her to return November 30th as Barbados's Independence Day. There was even seeming dissent from within the ranks of the BLP. Former Cabinet Minister Marsha Cadell said in a Facebook post that, quote, while it may seem desirable to unify all Barbadians under a non-specific, non-revolutionary Barbados National Day banner, the remaining need for revolution, the unfinished business of independence, cannot be sanitized. Cadell said the country's journey of independence is one which, quote, we must continue to name unapologetically. Even as the debate rages hotly among many civic-minded Barbadians, others are much less exercised about the decision to rename November 30th. Quote, once I get a holiday, said one Facebook commenter who wished to remain anonymous, I don't care what they call the day. As the first anniversary of the fledgling republic draws closer, it remains to be seen whether the government will remain steadfast in their decision to move forward with Barbados National Day or acknowledge the passionate protests of a vocal segment of the citizenry and return to a celebration of independence.